Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Very good afternoon, all of you. Actually, seminar માં after અને before lunch નું session હોય એટલે ઊંઘ જ આવે. સ્ટાર્ટિંગમાં ફર્સ્ટ સેશનમાં ચાલતું હોય એટલે કે ક્યારે લંચ મળશે અને લંચ પછીનું સેશન હોય એટલે ઊંઘ જ આવતી હોય. પણ અહીંયા બહુ સરસ તમને લેક્ચર ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરશે આપણી યુનિવર્સિટીના એસજીજી યુનિવર્સિટીના ડિપાર્ટમેન્ટના હેડ રાવલ સરનું લેક્ચર તમને અત્યારે ડિલિવર કરશે રાવલ સર. રાવલ સરને ઇન્ટ્રોડ્યુસ કરશે અમી પટેલ. પ્લીઝ અમી.
Good afternoon, respected sir and all the research scholars present over here. We are having amongst us Dr. Jignesh P. Rawal sir, Head of the Department Chemistry, Shri Govind University, Godhra. He is having 25 years of teaching as well as research experience. And till date, 5 students have been awarded the PhD degree under his guidance. Rawal sir has published more than 30 research papers in national as well as international reputed journals. So it's our privilege to have him amongst us. So may I please request Rawal sir to be here and acknowledge all of us with your kind knowledge. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ami, for your good words. Now, on behalf of Sheth PT Arts and Science College, Godhra, we would like to facilitate welcome of sir by sutar and handkerchief. Khadi is symbol of love and symbol of Gandhiji. I request our two senior professors, Professor M.L. Chauhan sir and Mistry sir, to facilitate welcome on behalf of our college to respected Jignesh Rawal sir. જોરદાર તાળીઓથી આપણે સ્વાગત કરીએ. Without wasting time, I would like to request Rawal sir to have session on green chemistry and sustainable chemistry.
Hello. See, basically it is quite difficult to deliver a lecture after a lunch session. I know very well that basically as you are having a lunch, you may be feeling somewhat sleepy. But the main thing is that I first of all convey my regards and thanks to the organizing committee members of the 2 days national seminar and for giving me an opportunity to deliver, to give some insights about the chemistry. First of all, I can say the topic of my session, as you all know very well that I am a person of a chemistry. Today I am going to discuss just about what is chemistry. Chemistry is everywhere and chemistry is in everything. First of all, what is the question that the question arises in our mind that what is the chemistry, why we study chemistry, and what is the importance of chemistry. Basically, chemistry is a scientific study The nature of a substance, it studies the nature of substance, the structure of substance, the properties of substance, how it reacts with the substance, and what are the uses of the substances. See, chemistry is also essential for many courses. It is important in many careers. It is important for pharmacy. It is important for medicine. It is important for agriculture. It is important for engineering. It is important for biotechnology, astronomy. Chemistry itself is a quite important subject, we can say. There are many more branches of chemistry such as organic, inorganic, physical, analytical, and it is having many more applications. It is also important in genetics, dentistry, as well as computer science, geology, biotechnology, food technology, environmental science. Chemistry is so important in our life that we cannot imagine a world without a chemistry. We can say that chemistry is also important in a plastic, similarly important for fertilizers, food additives, building materials, cosmetics, computer components, food and drinks, household products, jewelry, medicine and drugs, metals, pesticides, rubber products, telecommunications, textile and fabrics. See, in short, chemistry is everywhere and chemistry is in everything. The air we breathe, we can say, the coin in our pocket, the material that makes our electronic devices such as mobiles, the medicine in our cabinet, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, look around, it is all about the chemistry. Without science, without chemistry, the life is impossible. These are the certain important products, or we can say these are the important byproducts of the chemistry and the science which has been using chemistry. The ambiguous role of chemistry, that is, if we say that, have you ever paused to consider the profound impact of chemistry on our daily life? Every interaction that is we hear, આપણે જે કંઈ પણ સાંભળીએ છીએ, આપણે જે કંઈ પણ જોઈએ છીએ, આપણે જે કંઈ પણ સૂંઘીએ, અથવા what are the taste, what are the touch and the complex chemical interaction in our body itself. We can say that beyond the lab there is a chemistry. Chemistry is not confined only in the laboratories, but it is also beyond the laboratory. The day we start, that is your first act of day, we are using brush as well as we are using toothpaste. So basically for cleaning our teeth, we are using chemistry. The chemistry begins with the fundamental, or we can say that, okay. Our fundamental day starts with the cleaning of teeth. We can say that it starts with the chemistry. See, the fundamental elements of our human body is also about chemistry. 99% of the human body mass is composed of 6 elements. We can say oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. These are the elements of the periodic table. That is, they are chemistry, we can say chemicals. There are another 5 elements such as potassium, sulfur, sodium, chlorine, magnesium, which makes up to 0.85% of the vital for the life. Similarly, the emotions of our body are also controlled by neurotransmitters, we can say biogenic amines. There are certain biogenic amines such as norepinephrine, epinephrine, we can say adrenaline, noradrenaline, dopamine, etc. These all neurotransmitters are the biogenic amines. They are nothing but chemical compounds, we can say. Similarly, the feeling of love is also controlled by the neurotransmitters. We can say a chemistry. The day we start, it starts with the toothpaste. As I said that it contains a chemical named disodium monofluorophosphate. That's a fluoride. This fluoride forms an enamel on our teeth. And basically it will also protect our teeth from the bacteria, which develops a protection against the plaque. It will give a strength to the teeth also. Similarly, the chemistry at the breakfast, that is the bread, the smell from the bread or the fluffiness of the bread comes from what? It comes due to the use of yeast and the baking powder, which we use. It converts glucose into ethanol, and this bicarbonate or the baking powder converts into a carbonate, carbon dioxide and water, and the flavor is coming from the ethanol that is produced by the yeast. So basically the fluffiness of the bread, that our breakfast, we can say the bread is due to the chemistry, we can say. So each and every thing is having by a more fast. Okay. So similarly, the cup of coffee. The cup of coffee contains what? It contains the stimulant caffeine. It is also containing the chlorogenic acid, which is acting as an antioxidant agent. આવે મારો અવાજ જ ના કરે સંભળાય છે ને હા ઓકે 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 Okay, see caffeine contains the stimulant, coffee contains the caffeine which is a stimulant. Similarly, it also contains the chemical chlorogenic acid that is antioxidant power, and all the volatile aromatics which is present in the coffee gives the flavor. So there are around about 4,000 chemicals which are there in coffee. Next, similarly the chemistry of tea. There are 8 catechins: caffeine, the flavin, gallic acid, chlorogenic acid, gallic acid, E-gallic acid, camphorol. These are the main chemical compounds in the tea. Tea also contains polyphenol, flavonoids. These are the compounds which acts as an antioxidant. It also controls the damaging effect of a free radical in our body. Next. Okay. See, chemistry, science-driven track knowledge. I will just discuss about the few examples of the chemistry, science-driven track knowledge. That is the presence of atom in a semiconductor material, which is quite important for a microchip. Similarly, the creation of a single crystal made up of silicon carbide and a gallium nitride. That is LED of our cell phone displays. Similarly, the laser crystallization, that is amorphous silicon of our LCDs. We can say the LCD TV. And similarly, the hot electron injection in the thin film of the insulator that will lead to the digital cameras. So these are the applications of chemistry. Similarly, the first ever dye. See, imagine world without color. मानी लो के બધા black and white कपड़ा पहरीने फरता होय, so it is quite boring. But we are presently having a bright colors. So these are nothing but these are the gift which has been given by the chemistry. The natural dyes which was invented was very first was iconic Movin dye, aniline derived dye. It was the first synthetic organic chemical dye which was invented by Henry Perkin in the year 1838. Thereafter, many more derivatives of the Movin were invented, and presently we are having a number of gamuts of the dyes, we can say, with pure was invented. Next, that is indigoid. Indigoid is having a very important place in the history of our India's freedom. Also, we have faced a freedom fight for this indigo, we can say. Indigoids are a colorless water-soluble glycosides which are found in indigo or tinctoria plant. It is a precursor of indigo dye. Indoxil is released by the enzymatic cleavage which is oxidized by oxygen to the indigo. In 1897, 1900,000 tons of indigo were produced from a plant source, largely due to advances in organic chemistry. Production by the natural source dropped to the 1,000 ton by 1914. These advances can be traced in 1865 when the German chemist Adolf Bayer began working on indigo synthesis. And thereafter Bayer has started a dyes chemistry, and thereafter ICI also started the dyes chemistry. And in India, Atul has made an MOU with the ICI, and the Atik was a company in the, we can say, the South Gujarat region, and it was producing a first ever, we can say, Prussian dyes, that is a reactive dyes. Similarly, many more innovative materials in aviation such as solar plane, lightweight automobiles, semiconductors, aluminum, lithium alloy, lithium, zirconium, beryllium-based lightweight material, a range of stainless steels, similarly electric cars, sodium batteries, a conductive ink, metal nanoparticles, silver or copper encapsulated by the thin dispersive polymers are the smart product which has been invented by the use of chemistry, we can say. Similarly, LED have made a major impact in our saving electricity. We now even have an extremely flat LED lamp in CD format which uses polycarbonate. This does not use a conventional circuit board. All electronic components are printed on a transparent substrate. Printed, basically they are using dyes. Next. Similarly, the innovative, we can say, the hydrogen car. This hydrogen car is producing water as well as oxygen as an emission. So it is a zero emission car, we can say. It uses 2 gallons of a petrol power to take around the world. Next, this is the photograph of that hydrogen car. Next. The frontier of science systems and technologies are endless. They are more relevant today than ever. We should celebrate enthusiastically the prowess of the allied sciences. Interface includes the derived technologies, but remember that science may be the subject of matter, but it is the science that matters. It is chemistry that matters. આ બધાની પાછળ શું છે? There is a chemistry in it. So chemistry in medicine. So today my topic, I will just lay much more stress on, we can say, medicine. What medicine has made and how it has been helpful for development of our life, we can say. there are several endless topics for the discussion, but we can proceed further through the chemistry of life-saving chemicals such as drug or medicine. That is the drug chemistry. Chemistry is an essential part of a modern medicine. It is playing a vital role in diagnosis, treatment, and the prevention of disease. It not only creates the life-saving drug, but it will also enable the advanced diagnostic technologies for the diagnosis of the various diseases. Similarly, the application of chemistry in healthcare has revolutionized the field. How chemistry contributes to the medicine highlights the key example and demonstrates the transformative life-saving effects. Next. શું થાય છે કે બેઝિકલી મેડિસિન રિલાયઝ હેવીલી ઓન ધ કેમિસ્ટ્રી which serves as a foundation for the developing treatment. Chemistry is also useful for development of diagnostic tools, and similarly it is also useful for the preventive measure. Basically, how chemistry integrates, that is from drug development, diagnosis and therapeutics. Next. See, first, previous one. The very first ever antibiotic which was invented was a penicillin. It was invented accidentally by a scientist named Fleming. That is, returning from the holiday, Alexander Fleming discovers a mold contamination that killed surrounding his bacterial sample. This discovery of penicillin revolutionized the medicine history and the world's first broadly effective antibiotic. Fleming was later knighted and shared 1945 Nobel Prize with his fellow researchers. હવે આ હતું શું એમ કે તો બેસિકલી ફ્લેમિંગ વોઝ વર્કિંગ ઓન બેસિકલી નેક્સ્ટ વન હા ફ્લેમિંગ વોઝ વર્કિંગ ઓન બેક્ટેરિયા નેમ સ્ટીફિલોકોકસ બેક્ટેરિયા. He was just working on that particular bacteria, and thereafter he went to holiday for 2 weeks. એ એની રીતે જતો રહ્યો, તમારા જેમ લેબ ખુલ્લી મૂકીને અને ગમે તેમ મૂકીને જતો રહ્યો, અને કહી શકાય કે બેસિકલી he was not that much clean person, we can say that he used to clean his laboratory utensils before leaving the lab. But when he comes back, તો એને ખબર પડી કે એની જે બેક્ટેરિયાની જે પ્લેટ હતી એ પ્લેટની અંદર જે મોલ્ડ હતા એ મોલ્ડ કંઈ મરી ગયો. ત્યાર પછી એને ખ્યાલ આવ્યો કે ભાઈ આ શું છે એમ કે તો he find out that particular compound which was responsible for killing that particular bacteria, and thereafter he invented that it was nothing but it was the genus of penicillium. He gave the name to that penicillium as a penicillium genus. Later he determined as a penicillium rubens. આવા બે નામ તમે કદાચ સાંભળ્યા હશે, પણ માઇક્રોબાયોલોજી વાળા એમ કહે તો પેનિસિલિયમ નોટેટમ હતું, પણ પેનિસિલિયમ નોટેટમ ત્યાર પછી શોધાયેલું. તે પહેલા એણે પેનિસિલિયમ જીનસ શોધેલો, and thereafter he got the name penicillium rubens. ત્યાર પછી એણે નામકરણ કર્યું પેનિસિલિન, but he was quite unable to synthesize this penicillin on a large scale. Thereafter, next, previous. Thereafter, the University of Oxford માં the two scientists, that is scientists Flore and Chain, they worked together to isolate, to purify and mass produce the penicillin, and they were successful to produce that penicillin. And therefore, in the year 1945, combinedly the Nobel Prize was given to Fleming, Flore, as well as we can say that particular name Chain. બરાબર, એ લોકોએ 3 જણે ભેગા થઈને શોધ્યું ડ્યુરિંગ ધ વર્લ્ડ વોર. એટલે બિફોર પેનિસિલિન માની લો કે કોઈને પણ કોઈ પણ જાતનું ઇન્ફેક્શન થતું હતું તો લોકો મરી જ જતા હતા. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો? એટલે એનું રીઝન બી છે. માની લો કે તમારે જો ચેક કરવું હોય તો જસ્ટ ચેક ઇટ આઉટ કે વાય હિટલર was defeated. The Hitler was defeated not due to the, we can say, all the combined army. He was defeated due to this disease. કયા ડિઝીઝ? ડિઝીઝ ઓફ ઇન્ફેક્શન્સ. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો? તે જમાનામાં આ વસ્તુ હતી નહીં. બીજી વસ્તુ કે to find a drug is not important, but how to use that drug as a drug, how to deliver that drug in our body is also quite important. The technology પણ બહુ important છે, that is the drug delivery technology. એટલે chemistry is important not only for the drug development, it is also important for the drug diagnosis as well as it is also important for drug delivery. So I will just discuss that thing in a slide, we can say in summary. This accidental discovery is credited with the changing medicines and saving countless lives by ushering the era of antibiotics. ત્યાર પછીથી શું છે? They got the derivatives of penicillin. Thereafter they got the derivatives of next cephalosporins. Next cephalosporins. એમ કરતા કરતા next. એમ કરતા કરતા in the 1920s they found penicillin. Thereafter in 1930, 1940, 1950, 1960 they found out many more different derivatives of antibiotics. Cephalosporin, chloramphenicol, tetracycline. Tetracycline is a truly broad spectrum antibiotic, we can say. Penicillin શું હતું? It was just killing gram positive bacteria. So it was useful only against the gram-positive bacterial infection. Thereafter, gram-negative infection ના માટે cephalosporin શોધાય. And thereafter, tetracycline શોધાય. Broad spectrum, positive, negative બધા. ત્યાર પછી લોકોને ખબર પડી કે ભાઈ ખાલી infection નથી. There are also many more diseases like malaria, TB, leprosy. There are many mycobacterial diseases, we can say parasitical disease. તો તેના માટે anti-infective agent શોધાયા. And that was during the era of 1940, 1950, 1960. We can say the golden era of antibiotics. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો. ત્યાર પછી લોકોએ ગાંડાના માફક ગમે તેમ ડ્રગ યુઝ કરવાના ચાલુ કર્યા. સો લાસ્ટલી વી ફેસ ધ રાઇઝ ઓફ એન્ટીબાયોટિક રેઝિસ્ટન્સ એન્ડ ધીસ ઇઝ ક્વાઇટ મચ મોર ડેન્જરસ. એનો અર્થ શું છે કે રેઝિસ્ટન્સ ઓફ દેટ પર્ટિક્યુલર એન્ટીબાયોટિક ઇઝ નાઉ such a widespread that there is no effect of such types of, we can say, a miracle drug which was being invented. Once again, the scientist once again goes back to the roots. We can say, ફરીથી પાછો એ બેક ટુ ધ રૂટ્સ પહોંચી ગયો. એટલે મેલેરિયાના માટે દવા કઈ શોધાયેલી સૌથી પહેલા તો ઇટ વોઝ ક્વિનાઇન, વી કેન સે. ત્યાર પછીથી એ ક્લોરોક્વિન પર ગયો. ક્લોરોક્વિન પછી એ ફરીથી પાછો નેચર પાસે જતો રહ્યો. એન્ડ નાઉ વન્સ અગેન દે આર યુઝિંગ ક્વિનાઇન એઝ વેલ એઝ આર્ટેમિસ. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો કે કહેવાનો મતલબ શું છે કે ધીસ ઓલ સાયન્સ લાસ્ટલી લેડ ટુ ધ એન્ટીબાયોટિક રેઝિસ્ટન્સ વિચ ઇઝ ક્વાઇટ મચ મોર અલાર્મિંગ ફોર અસ. બરાબર, આગળ છીએ. So this is the year of production of various antibiotics, we can say. Till 2020, the new antibiotic which was invented was fluoromutilins. It was using the fermentation technology, or we can say the chemistry behind, to invent such types of miracle drugs, or we can say antibiotics. Similarly, what is chemotherapy? The chemotherapy is nowadays, today in the morning session only, that our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir has discussed that there were about 10% increase in the rise of hospitals of cancer, we can say. બાબતો આપણે થોડી ઘણી કેન્સરની વાતો કરી લઈએ કે કેમોથેરાપી ઇન્વોલ્વ્સ ધ કેમિકલ કમ્પાઉન્ડ which destroys rapidly dividing cancerous cells. What are the main examples? Cisplatin is a widely used chemotherapeutic drug which interferes the cancerous cell DNA, causing cell death. એના માટે લાઈફ સેવિંગ ઇમ્પેક્ટ શું છે? The chemotherapy has significantly improved the survival rates for the various cancers. And what are the innovation? Research is advancing targeted chemotherapeutics that minimize the damage to the healthy cell and reduce side effects. બીજી બી સરે વાત કરી કે ખાલી કેન્સર એક નથી, બધા 1000 જાતના કેન્સર શોધાયા. 1000 જાતના કેન્સર હારું 1000 જાતની દવા શોધવી પડે. આ બધાની પાછળ શું છે? ધેર ઇઝ કેમિસ્ટ્રી, વી કેન સે. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો. અને બીજી એક તમને કદાચ વાત કહી છેલ્લે, સરે જો છેલ્લે તો નથી, આપણે થોડું બાકી છે મારું, પણ આઈ કેન સે ધેટ પેલું ચાઇનાની સરે વાત કરી. ઇન્ડિયન યુથ અત્યારે ક્યાં વેસ્ટ કરે છે પોતાનો 4 કલાકનો સમય રીલમાં. બરાબર, અમેરિકાનો યુથ હતો કે વી કેન સે ધ યુરોપિયન યુથ, એ લોકો પોતાનો સમય ક્યાં વેસ્ટ કરે છે? તો એ લોકો દે આર યુઝિંગ મોબાઈલ, બટ દે આર યુઝિંગ AI ટૂલ્સ ઇન ધ મોબાઈલ. અને ચાઇનીઝ શું કરે છે? દે આર બેસિકલી ઇન્વોલ્વ ઇન રિસર્ચ. એ લોકો આગળ ને આગળ એમ જ કામ કરે છે, એટલે એ લોકો પ્રોગ્રેસ કરે છે. ખ્યાલ આવી ગયો? આગળ છે. What is chemotherapy? Chemotherapy is a cancer treatment that uses drugs to kill the cancerous cell. It is a systematic treatment, which means that drug travel through the bloodstream to reach the cancerous cell throughout the body. એટલે એ લોકો આમાંથી કંઈક ઇન્જેક્ટ કરે ને આખા બોડીમાં ફેરવે. Chemotherapy is used to treat many different types of cancers. It can be used alone or in a combination with the treatment such as radiation therapy or the surgery. The side effect of the chemotherapy can vary depending upon the type of the drug, the dose of the drug, as well as the condition of the patient, we can say. Depending upon the stage and the types of cancer, there are various different types of cancerous chemotherapy. By using mouth, oral, by using injection into vein, intravenous, by using injection into artery, intra-arterial, injection into muscle, intramuscular, intraperitoneal, and topical. They are applied on the skin. These are the various types of technique for delivering a cancerous drug or any drug into our body for the treatment of a disease. Chemotherapy drug classification, especially for cancer, there were various different types of drugs such as alkylating agent, platinum analogues, antimetabolites, microtubules, topoisomerase inhibitors, chemotherapeutic antibiotic drugs, steroidal chemotherapy, chemoirradiation. આ બધા અલગ અલગ ડ્રગોનું મેઇન ટાર્ગેટ શું હતો? તો બેસિકલી they first of all scientists studied the biomolecule which are present in our body itself. There are biomolecules such as carbohydrate, protein, lipid, nucleic acids. ન્યુક્લિક એસિડ આપણને ખ્યાલ છે 4-5 જાતના આવે છે, વિચ આર એસેન્શિયલ્સ. એમિનો એસિડ બી તમને ખ્યાલ છે કે there are various types of essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. These are all biological molecules which are there in our body, and basically the scientists have invented various types of drugs which are imitating that particular biological molecule. બરાબર, અને એના હિસાબે લોકોએ બધી ડ્રગ ડિઝાઇન કરી છે યુઝિંગ. There are many more techniques today also that we are using computer also, computational chemistry કહે છે, SER એ લોકો યુઝ કરે છે, and from that they have invented various types of agents to treat that particular disease, to treat the cancers. We can say alkylating agent, platinum analogues, antimetabolites, microtubule damaging agent, and topoisomerase inhibitors, chemotherapeutic antibiotic, steroidal drugs, and irradiation therapy. Next, these are the examples of alkylating agents. What are alkylating agents? They are the first anti-cancer medications and still among the most regularly used chemotherapeutic agents. These are the examples. Next, antimetabolites, they are having the structure similar to the nucleic acid which is there in our body. તમને ખ્યાલ છે, થાઇમિન, યુરેસિલ ને બધા છે ને, તેના જેવા સ્ટ્રક્ચર છે આ, બરાબર. તો they are termed as antimetabolites, બરાબર. Next, doxytaxel, paclitaxel, these are certain natural product also, and they are also sometimes synthesized by a fermentation in our laboratory. Next, these are the hormonal agents which are basically the acting as a means they are acting for the treatment of cancerous treatment. Next, anti-tumor antibiotics such as doxorubicin and dinorubicins, these are the chemotherapeutic medicines derived from natural compounds produced by the Streptomyces species of soil fungus. Next, topoisomerase inhibitors. This topoisomerase is an enzyme which will make a cell division in an uncontrolled fashion. So to inhibit that particular activity, they are using these two types of drugs, etoposide and emesquerine. This will inhibit the activity of topoisomerase, and topoisomerase is now prevented for uncontrolled division of a cell. So rather we can say that indirectly it is useful for the treatment of cancer. Treatment to na કહી શકાય, અટકાવી શકે. It can prevent it. Next, see, the invention of an antiviral drug. This is also one more important class that about virus. Antiviral medication target the viruses, preventing them from multiplying and spreading within the body. There are many more antiviral drugs which are present in our, basically we can say a drug gamut, we can say. The most important is zidovudine, which has transformed HIV/AIDS from a fatal disease to a manageable chronic condition. એક ટાઈમ હતો કે HIV નો હાવ હતો એમ કે, but that HIV now it can be controlled by zidovudine. The life-saving impact is that millions of lives have been saved by the antiviral drug for the disease of HIV, hepatitis and influenza. મેઇન વસ્તુ છે વાયરસમાં આપણે COVID-19ની વાત કરવાની છે કે the rapid development of antiviral treatment during the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the chemistry's ability to respond to the emerging health crisis. બરાબર. Next, many more drugs were invented. હવે બધી ઘણી બધી દવાના મેં નામ તમારા મારે કહેવા હોય તો મારું આખું મેડિસિનલ કેમિસ્ટ્રી આવી જાય, આખું ફાર્માસ્યુટિકલ કેમિસ્ટ્રી આવી જાય, કહી શકાય કે આખો કોર્સ આવી જાય, બરાબર. પણ એ બધું ડિટેલમાં આપણે કરવાની જરૂર નથી. I can just say the various classes of drugs for the treatment of malaria, for the treatment of TB, leprosy, depression, anesthetic, diabetes, diuretics, for CV disease, blood disorders, and the name and the class goes on. જે રીતે ડિઝીઝના નામ હોય તે રીતે એની અલગ અલગ દવાઓના નામ છે. નેક્સ્ટ, હવે ડાયગ્નોસિસની વાત કરીએ કે what is the important contribution of chemistry in diagnosis. We can say that it is useful for invention of biomarkers and immunoassays. That is the specific biomarkers such as protein, hormones or other indicators of the disease. ELISA test which was detected for the antibody for HIV and malaria. બરાબર. This diagnosis can enable for the timely treatment, prevention of the disease progression and saving lives. જૂના જમાનામાં આપણે વેદ અથવા ડૉક્ટરને મળવા જતા એ લોકો ખાલી નાડી ચેક કરતા, and depending upon the heart rate they used to diagnose the disease. હવે અત્યારે ડૉક્ટરો પાસે એવો સમય નથી, એવું સાયન્સ બી નથી, અને કહી શકાય કે જે નોલેજ આવવું જોઈતું હતું તે હવે નથી રહ્યું. એટલે આપણે ડૉક્ટર પાસે જઈએ તો પહેલાં શું કહે, પહેલાં પેથોલોજી લેબમાં જતો રહે, યુરિન ટેસ્ટ કરાવો, બ્લડ ટેસ્ટ કરાવો, અને એ યુરિન ટેસ્ટ બ્લડ ટેસ્ટમાં લીવર ટેસ્ટ, કિડની લીવર ફંક્શન છે, કિડનીના ફંક્શન છે, પછી માની લો કે ડાયાબિટીસના સારું ગ્લુકોઝ ચેક કરી લે. આ બધી વસ્તુ એ લોકો ચેક કરી લે, તમને વજનિયા પર ઊભો કરી નાખે, બરાબર, અને પૂછી લે ભાઈ તારું એજ કેટલી, એટલે એની એવરેજ હોય એની એના હિસાબે જોઈ લે કે ઓવર એજ છે, ઓવર વેટ છે કે લેસ વેટ છે. અને તેના હિસાબે એ પછી તમને ડ્રગ આપે. એટલે ડાયગ્નોસિસ ક્યાંથી કરે છે? ડિપેન્ડિંગ અપોન ધ diagnostic tool which is been there in a pathological laboratory, we can say. What is there? There is nothing but the use of our chemistry. તમે બધા માની લો કે અત્યારે એમએસસીમાં જે કંઈ પણ પ્રેક્ટિકલ કરો છો તો વી આર યુઝિંગ ક્વોલિટેટિવ એન્ડ ક્વોન્ટિટેટિવ એનાલિસિસ. That qualitative and quantitative analysis is having a right application in pathological laboratory also. And similarly, it is also having a right application in industry, we can say a pharma industry. બરાબર? આપણે આગળ જઈએ. Next, diagnosis of blood cancer. Blood cancer can be diagnosed by blood test, that is percentage of CBC, bone marrow test, imaging test, biopsy test, and genetic test if necessary. Next, chemical imaging technique. આ બધી છે MRI, PET scan, lab scan. These are the techniques which are used for diagnosis of cancer. Next, similarly, we can say the chemistry is also having a role for development of a vaccine. Vaccine પાછી બે છે, એક attenuated અને non attenuated. We can say traditional vaccine use inactivated or weakened pathogen to trigger an immune response. The polio vaccine was eradicated a devastating disease in many parts of our world. The life-saving impact is a vaccination campaign which prevents millions of deaths annually by protecting against diseases like measles, tetanus and smallpox. પેલો અમિતાભ બચ્ચન આવીને કહે ને, દો બૂંદ જિંદગી કી એમ કહે. That is quite important. એટલે હું છે કે દો બૂંદ આપણે લઈ લઈએ તો પોલિયો ઇરેડિકેટ થઈ જાય વર્લ્ડ ઓવરમાંથી, તો એ આખો ડિસીઝ જ નીકળી જાય. બરાબર? નેક્સ્ટ, સી mRNA વેક્સિન. આ એક વેક્સિન તો બધી 78 જાતની છે, કારણ કે હું માઇક્રોબાયોલોજીનો માણસ છું નહીં, પણ મેઇન વસ્તુ આઈ જસ્ટ ટુક ધ એક્ઝામ્પલ ઓફ mRNA, that is messenger RNA virus vaccine, which was quite important during COVID-19 pandemics. It showcased the cutting edge chemistry. These vaccines use the synthetic RNA to instruct cells to produce a viral protein, prompting the immunity. Example, Bharat Biotech, Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. This vaccine saved countless lives during the pandemic and demonstrated the potential for rapid vaccine development. Barabar? Next. This is the history regarding the vaccines. In 16th century, the Chinese inscriptions were there for the special, we can say, smallpox. They were, means it was been found કે ભાઈ 16મી સદીમાં ચાઇનામાં કંઈ સ્મોલપોક્સની વેક્સિનની બાબતમાં કંઈ ચર્ચા કરતા હતા. Thereafter, in 1796, the first scientific method of vaccination was invented. Thereafter, in 1853, smallpox vaccination became a mandatory in UK. Thereafter, vaccine was invented for rabies. Similarly, first vaccine was discovered Babar in 1892. પછી ત્યાર પછી 1944માં ફ્લૂ આવી. એમ કરતાં કરતાં COVID-19 2021માં આપણને મળી વેક્સિન. નેક્સ્ટ છે ને ટાઈમ થોડું બધું? ચાલો. See, this is about the drug delivery technologies. એકદમ શોર્ટમાં સટાસટ પૂરું કરી દઈએ કે ડ્રગ ડિલિવરી ટેકનોલોજીસ અલગ અલગ પ્રકારની હોય છે, કે દેટ ઇઝ ડ્રગ પ્રિપરેશન, ધ રૂટ્સ ઓફ એડમિનિસ્ટ્રેશન, ધ સાઇટ સ્પેસિફિક ટાર્ગેટ, મેટાબોલિઝમ, ટોક્સિસિટી, ઓપ્ટિમાઇઝ એફિકસી એન્ડ સેફટી વાઇલ ઇમ્પ્રુવિંગ પેશન્ટ કોમ્પ્લાયન્સ. તમને એક એક્ઝામ્પલ આપી દઉં કે વોટ ઇઝ ધીસ ડ્રગ ડિલિવરી ટેકનોલોજીસ. માની લો કે નાનું બચ્ચું છે, નાના બચ્ચાને આપણે દવા આપવાની હોય છે, તો નાના બચ્ચાને એમ કે તું ભાઈ મોડું ખોલને ચમચી નાખી દે, એવું બનતું નથી. ઘણીવાર ઘણા ડેન્જરસ ડિસીઝ હોય, માણસ બેભાન થઈ ગયો, એને એમ કે તમારે દવા ઓરલી આપી છે વાય માઉથ, એ બેભાન હોય તો કેવી રીતે લેવાનું? તો ઇન્જેક્શન શોધવા પડેલા. તો દેર આર ધ વેરિયસ ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ ડ્રગ્સ વિચ હેઝ બીન ઇન્વેન્ટેડ એન્ડ વેરિયસ ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ ડ્રગ્સ ડિલિવરી ટેકનોલોજી વોઝ ઓલ્સો ઇન્વેન્ટેડ. ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ, હું તમને એક ડાયક્લોફિનેક આપું. ડાયક્લોફિનેક પેન કિલર છે. એ ડાયક્લોફિનેક પેન કિલર છે, તો તમે માર્કેટમાં જશો તો પેલો સ્પોર્ટ્સવાળો, ક્રિકેટરવાળો જે ખરો ફિઝિયોથેરાપિસ્ટ, એની પાસે સ્પ્રે હોય. બરાબર? આપણે ત્યાં મેડિકલ સ્ટોરમાં જઈએ તો આપણને મલમ મળે. બરાબર? અને માની લો કે તમે એમ કે ડાયક્લોફિનેક, તો તમને ટેબ્લેટ બી આપે, અને છેલ્લે કંઈ તો ડાયક્લોફિનેકની ઇન્જેક્શનો આપે. એટલે ડિપેન્ડિંગ અપોન ધ કન્ડિશન ઓફ ધ પેશન્ટ એન્ડ ધ પેશન્ટ કમ્પ્લાયન્સ, that particular drug has been formulated into various formulations in the form of tablet, in the form of topical cream, in the form of injections, intravenous, intra-artery. હવે વેક્સિન આપણે મૂકીએ છીએ તો ઘણી વાર અહીંયા બલ્બ આવી જતો છે. તો રેબીસની વેક્સિન એ લોકો એ રીતે મૂકે કે મસલમાં મૂકે છે. બરાબર? વેનમાં નથી મૂકતા. વેનમાં મૂકે તો ઇટ ઇઝ ઇન્ટ્રાવેનસ, આર્ટરીમાં મૂકે તો ઇન્ટ્રા આર્ટરી એમ કે. એ જ રીતે એ લોકો વજાઇનામાં પણ મૂકી શકે, ટોપિકલ પણ એ લોકો યુઝ કરી શકે. અને બેભાન કરવા સારું તમને ક્લોરોફોર્મ બી ઉગાડે એમ કે. તો દેટ ઇઝ વી કેન સે વાયા એર. એટલે કહી શકાય કે નેઝલ સ્પ્રે પણ માર્કેટમાં અવેલેબલ છે. તો ધીઝ આર ધ વેરિયસ ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ ડ્રગ ટેકનોલોજીસ વિચ હેઝ બીન ઇન્વેન્ટેડ for the same old API, we can say, which is useful as a painkiller. આવા તો મેં તમને ઘણા એક્ઝામ્પલ આપી શકું એન્ડ વી કેન હેવ ન્યુમરસ એક્ઝામ્પલ્સ, બરાબર. સો આઈ થિંક આઈ શુડ કમ્પ્લીટ માય ટોક. ઘણી બધી સ્લાઇડો છે એમ તો. સી પહેલી મૂકની જ્યારે ઓરલ, એટલે ફોટોગ્રાફ જરા જોઈ લે પિક્ચર ખ્યાલ આવે. સી ધીસ ઇઝ ઓરલ. નેક્સ્ટ ધીસ ઇઝ પેરેન્ટ્રલ. ધીસ ઇઝ ટ્રાન્સડર્મલ. ટ્રાન્સડર્મલ પેચ એટલે આપણે પેલું બેન્ડેડ લગાડીએ છીએ તે, બરાબર. નેક્સ્ટ પલ્મોનરી નેઝલ સ્પ્રે વી કેન સે, બરાબર. કોવિડ-19 વખતે યુઝ કરેલા નેઝલ ડાયરેક્ટ નાકમાં જાય. લોકલ એડમિનિસ્ટ્રેશન એટલે ગમે ત્યાં તમે હાથ પર લગાડો, ટોપિકલ વી કેન સે. નેક્સ્ટ હવે આ કેવી રીતે બનાવે તેની થોડી પ્રોસેસ છે. હવે એ પ્રોસેસ આપણે ડીલ નથી કરતા. નેક્સ્ટ 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 આ બધા અંદર શું છે? દેર આર વેરિયસ ડિફરન્ટ ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ પોલિમર્સ વિચ વર યુઝ ફોર પ્રિપરેશન ઓફ દેટ પર્ટિક્યુલર ડ્રગ in the form of injection, in the form of patch, in the form of we can say ointment. અને અત્યારે કેન્સરના માટે ટાર્ગેટેડ એ લોકો મેટલ્સ યુઝ કરે છે, નેનો પાર્ટિકલ્સ, બરાબર. અને નેનો પાર્ટિકલ્સ એ લોકો યુઝ કરે છે ટાર્ગેટેડ સાઇટ પર, એ ત્યાં જઈને ડ્રગને લીચ આઉટ કરે. તો ધેટ ઇઝ ધ ન્યૂ ટેકનોલોજી વિચ હેઝ બીન ઇન્વેન્ટેડ. નેક્સ્ટ છેલ્લે ધીમે ધીમે તો જોતા જાય. નેક્સ્ટ આકાર નાખો. The use of liposome, micelle, biliary sheets as a drug delivery carriers. Next, nano carriers, intelligent systems, micro electromechanical systems, microchips. પેલા જેમ્સ બોન્ડના મૂવીમાં અહીંયા મૂકે એને બધું કરે લોકો તેવું છે એમ કે. નેક્સ્ટ એટલે યુઝ ઓફ નેનો ટેકનોલોજી, લિપોસોમલ ડ્રગ્સ, ડોક્સિલ ફોર કેમોથેરાપી, લિપિડ્સ પણ યુઝ કરે. પેલા આંખમાં પોપચા નાખે, તમને ખ્યાલ હોય. નેક્સ્ટ conclusion, chemistry has fundamentally transformed the medicines, enabling life-saving innovation in pharmaceuticals, diagnosis and vaccine. From antibiotic to the targeted cancer treatments, the application of chemistry continues to improve health outcome and extend lives. As science progresses, the collaboration between chemistry and medicine will drive even great breakthrough, offering hope for a better treatment and cure for the disease of tomorrow. By embracing this advancement, humanity takes another step towards the healthier and more resilient future. Okay, thanks a lot once again.
On behalf of everyone present over here, I sincerely thank you, sir, for such an enlightening session, explaining everything in such a short period of time, and that too in a very lucid manner. Thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time and coming over here. Also, I heartily welcome Dr. Ashish Prajapati, sir, as our guest and judge over here. We'll start the technical session. We are starting the technical session in a break of just 2 to 3 minutes. All the life science students are requested to go in room number 25, and chemistry students are requested to be present over here only. Also, all the chemistry students who are giving the oral presentations are requested to submit their presentations in the laptop over here. It's a kind request to everyone to submit their presentations so we can move forward smoothly. Thank you. Good afternoon. We are starting the Good afternoon, everyone. We are starting the technical session. Before commencing formally the session, may I please request Rawal sir to felicitating Prajapati sir with સૂતરની આટી અને રૂમાલ. તાળીઓ પાડજો બધા. A big round of applause. May I please request Ankita madam કે તમે પંડ્યા સરને ફેલિસિટેટ કરો સૂતરની આંટી અને રૂમાલથી. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are starting the session. For the first oral presentation, may I please request Astha Patel to come forward and present her topic.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Asthadi Patel and a research scholar at Sheth PT Arts and Science College, Godhra. And this two-day seminar is all about the sustainable future. And my research work is directly connected to the sustainability. Okay. So my research topic, the presentation topic is seasonal physico-chemical characterization of the dairy industry wastewater for the recommendation of the sustainable treatment. So, next. Okay. First of all, the introduction. We all aware about the water pollution. Day by day, industrialization increasing, and that's why the water pollution due to the industrialization is increasing. In one of the study, it is mentioned that about 70% of in India, about 70% of the fresh water is polluted by the industries. So it is the huge number, that is 70%. And we all know that India ranked first in the milk production in the whole world. So the dairy industry is one of the major contributor in the wastewater pollution. Dairy wastewater contains milk by the product of dairy processing operations. Dairy industry not just only process milk, but it also manufacture other milk products. And dairy wastewater contain milk, fat, proteins, lipids, and the agents that are used for cleaning the operation units. That is cleaning and additive of different types, probably used during operation. That is, detergent are also present in the dairy wastewater. Next. So that's why the dairy effluents are rich in organic matter. Organic matter are involved for reducing the dissolved oxygen. we know that when the amount of oxygen is high in wastewater, it is in water, it is good quality water. But if the dissolved oxygen is reducing, the water is not that much of good quality. So organic matter always reduce the dissolved oxygen that is present in the wastewater, and due to this, we can face the problem like odor, that is bad odor, sludge formation, and eutrophication. Eutrophication, that means the layer of the organic matter above the wastewater, and it stops the oxygen supply to the animals present under the water. So it indirectly affects the aquatic animals and ecological imbalance. For the treatment of dairy wastewater, that's why treatment of dairy wastewater is very important, and it is vital to understand the approximate composition of incoming wastewater and whether it changes seasonally. So before the treatment is done for the wastewater, we have to first understand the characterization of the wastewater. Okay, so this work is focused on the characterization of wastewater, not only the characterization, but also the characterization seasonally, because wastewater parameters value changes seasonally in every season, that is monsoon, winter, and summer. The present study aims to investigate the seasonal variation of various physicochemical parameters of dairy industry wastewater. So my study is focused on the local dairy of Godhra, that is Panchmahal dairy Godhra. This physicochemical assessment study was done during the summer, monsoon, and winter season. Next. Now come to the methodology. So first of all, I have to collect the samples from the dairy, Panchmahal dairy Godhra, and the samples were collected seasonally from the ETP inlet of the Panchmahal dairy using the grab sampling method. The samples were collected in a sterile glass bottles. The bottles were labeled for the sample collection time, date, and location. Samples were also preserved. Next step will be the preservation of the sample. The preservation of sample was done by using the IS 3025 guidelines. IS, that is International Standard Guidelines. Okay. The BOD samples were kept under the certain specific temperature, that is 4 degrees Celsius, and tested within the 24 hours. And the COD and oil and grease samples were acidified with the concentrated H2SO4 to maintain the stability of the sample. Another parameters like pH, electroconductivity, and temperature were measured immediately after the collection at the location of the collection. Other physicochemical characteristics of dairy wastewater were analyzed using the guideline of International Standard 3025 series. Next. So these are the parameters of to test the dairy wastewater, and the first parameter is pH, was measured using the digital pH meter. Another is electroconductivity, was also measured using the EC meter. Temperature was measured by using thermometer. On-site measurement was done. Turbidity is measured by using nephelometer. Then TS, TDS, and TSS was measured following the IS methods. Then BOD and COD are the two important parameters for measuring the wastewater. BOD and COD. BOD was measured by using the incubation method. The 3 days incubation method was used, and then COD was also measured by using the method named closed reflux method with dichromate and titration. Oil and grease is also one of the important parameters. It was measured by the solvent extraction method and gravimetric method. And then total alkalinity is also important, that is titration method was used. Okay, next. So these are the data I collected throughout the year, and it is the seasonal variation in dairy wastewater. The two times, the sample was collected 2 times in each season. That is, in winter I collected sample 2 times, in summer I collected a sample 2 times, and in monsoon I collected sample 2 times. And then I analyzed the sample with these specific physico-chemical parameters. And these values, these values were the result of the analysis. During the analysis, I noticed one thing, that the COD and BOD is increasing throughout the year. Means all season, COD and BOD is very high for dairy wastewater. But one thing is very noticeable, that summer season, when due to the high temperature, wastewater analysis, wastewater contain very high pollutant load. Okay. So winter, and as compared to the monsoon season, due to the dilution of the water, due to the heavy rainfall, the water get diluted. So the value becomes little low comparatively to the summer season. And in winter season, the values were stable. It's not changing that much. Next. So these were the result and discussion. Seasonal variation data help us to understand the wastewater characteristic changes with the season. All the values got drastically changes throughout the season. So we have to design the suitable suitable treatment method for each season. Different seasons show different pollution load. For example, summer season shows the maximum pollution load. So it needs the proper and high doses. If we are using the adsorption method, if we are using natural materials, then the treatment design should be in such a way that it should be suitable for the removal of the high organic pollutant load in the summer season. When we know the seasonal changes, we can plan the use of chemical as well as the agro-based natural material more effectively. If we know that the summer season has the highest pollution load, so we can use our materials very effectively. And if we know that the winter and monsoon has comparatively low pollution load, so that we will use the doses accordingly to that. Agro-based natural material acts as adsorbent, and their performance depends on the quality of the wastewater. By using seasonal data, the doses of agro-based natural material can be adjusted according to the pollution load. That means the highest pollution load will need the high doses, and the low pollution load will need the lower doses. Treatment efficiency can be improved by the seasonal variations. Unnecessary use of chemical can be avoided by doing the seasonal variations, and this makes the treatment process flexible, cost-effective, and sustainable. Therefore, seasonal characterization provides a scientific basis for optimizing the agro-waste-based treatment systems. Next. The conclusion of this study is dairy industry wastewater exhibits very high organic pollution with COD and BOD. COD values according to the CBCB and GPCB limit should be less than 250 ml per liter. Okay, 250 milligram per liter. Sorry. So, and the BOD value should be less than 30 milligram per liter. So we see the result previously that the COD and BOD was exceeding these values. The wastewater showed an acidic nature with the high dissolved and suspended solids. So by the data of the pH, we got the pH on average 4 pH. So it is acidic in nature. And the suspended solids indicating severe physico-chemical conditions, contamination. Seasonal variation significantly influence wastewater quality. By seasonal variation, we get to know that in different seasons, the quality of wastewater varies. The maximum pollution load observed during the summer season, monsoon dilution and winter stability highlighted the dynamic behavior of dairy wastewater across the different seasons. Seasonal characterization provides a scientific basis for designing sustainable, eco-friendly and season-resilient treatment strategies. Thank you.
through an oxygen atom. Transition temperatures were measured on heating as well as cooling cycles. The present series is entirely nemotogenic and exhibits a wide range of liquid crystallinity. The crystal nematic transitions curve demonstration of pattern of rising and falling values with transition temperatures. In a normal manner, for series 7AH, compounds 7A, 7B, 7C and 7D are non-mesogenic, while 7E, 7F, 7G and 7H are mesogenic active compounds and exhibit a nematic phase. Here it is a polarizing optical images of some synthesized compounds based on temperatures for compound 7E, compound 7F, compound 7G and compound 7H. It is taken by the polarizing microscope. Here it is, this slide is about the images, which compound has on which temperature nematic जो आ सके, sematic जो आ से ना विषय है. And here it is the references for the my present work, જેનો ઉપયોગ કરીને મેં મારું research work કામ આગળ વધાર્યું છે. Next. Here it is also the other references. In last, I am thankful to all of you, especially the organizing committee and SPT Arts and Science College Godhra for giving me the chance to present my work, and also thankful to Dr. Rupesh Nakar sir, who was too flexible for our queries, and I also thankful to my guide Dr. B.R. Pansuria sir, to જેમણે મને આ બધું શીખવાડ્યું કે કઈ રીતના કરવું. Thank you.
कराएगी
चलो
ओके स्टार्ट
Good afternoon, all of you. I am here to present my research work on sourcing relationship in citrulus lanutus during food development by Pracharak. Next, please. We all know that watermelon or citrulus lanutus is a highly nutritional and having a economically important value, and the ratio of source to sink relationship can affect the fruit quality and productivity also. So analysis of source to sink relationship during the fruit development can help to improve quality and productivity also. Firstly, source are the organs like mature leaves, which are producers for the through the photosynthesis, while sink are the organs like fruits, roots, stems, bulbs, which used as well as stored photosynthesis within. Photosynthesis and metabolism. If we see, the glucose is the primary product of photosynthesis, which is further converted into sucrose as well as other carbohydrate during the translocation of source to sink, and distribution influenced by cultivar maturity leaf fruit ratio conditions. Among all the sinks, fruits are the major sink. Up to 80% of photosynthesis directed during the full fruitification period, while high fruit load reduces vegetative growth and fruit growth enhances the photosynthesis. Next, please. carbohydrates such as total sugar, reducing non-reducing sugar, and starch, total free amino acid, protein, total ethanol, and various enzymes such as amylase, invertase, catalase, and peroxidase were included during the biochemical analysis. And these are the methods used, and here are the references. Next, please. If we move to the research, there are the morphological analysis of watermelon. I have included 5 developmental stages from young, premature, mature, pre-ripe and ripen stage of the fruit, along with mature leaves as a source organ. Next, please. We can clearly see the gradual decrease of fresh weight, volume, length, and width during the fruit development, which indicate the sink efficiency during the fruit development. Next, please. Higher amount of total soluble solids indicate the deposition of carbohydrates and sugar during the ripening process, while lower amount of total titrable acidity indicate the ripening process during the fruit development. These are the other pH, acidity, moisture of source organs and seed. Analysis of treatment from watermelon indicates the higher amount of chlorophyll A, B, and total chlorophyll during the mature phase, while during fruit development it gradually decreases from young fruit to ripen stage of the fruit. It indicates the chlorophyll activity of chlorophyllase enzyme, which degrade the chlorophyll and require photosynthesis process. Similarly, carotene is found higher in the mature leaves and source, while it is decreased during the young to pre-ripen stage and found in higher amount during the ripen stage of the fruit. Next, please. Similarly, lycopene and anthocyanin is found highest in the leaf, and during the fruit development, it decreases from young to pre-ripen and have a steep rise during the ripening stage. In lycopene, we know that it have an antioxidant activity, and watermelon is known for that higher lycopene content, while anthocyanin is nearly nil during the fruit development. Next, please. Sugar. The amount of sugar found highest in the ripen stage, especially reducing sugar and total sugar, while non-reducing sugar found higher in the mature leaves, which indicate the assimilation of various sugars during the fruit development. Next, please. Starch found highest in the leaf, while it decreases from young into pre-ripe and have a steep rise during the ripening stage. Next, please. During the birth, the higher amount of protein and amino acid found in the mature leaves, source organs, where it decreases during the young to premature and have a higher amount during the ripen stage, especially amino acids. And similarly, total phenol content found higher in the ripen stage of fruit. Next, please. Amylase and invertase activity found higher in the fruit during fruit development, which indicate the degradation of carbohydrates in sugar, and again fruit development converted it into sucrose. Next, please. Catalase and peroxidase activity found higher in the leaves. Catalase activity found highest in the premature stage of the fruit, which indicates the antioxidant activity of both enzymes during the leaf. It reduces the oxidative stress during the photosynthesis. Next, please. These are the mineral analysis I found during the fruit development. The higher amount of nearly all the minerals found in the mature stage, which is the stage where the overall growth is taken place, and the watermelon is sugar and phenols and certain enzyme activities. This difference highlights species-specific sourcing relationship and photosynthetic partially in the which can useful for the crop improvement. Findings are optimizing of agronomic practices and food quality enhancement. The research supported national nutrition goals such as Poshan Abhiyan by guiding the strategies for the nutritional management to grow fruits as well as the sustainable food production. Next one. Future perspectives. The knowledge of nutrition and ratio will help to develop the cost-effective farming for the horticulture growth. Because we know that there is a much chemical fertilizers which can also harmful for us. But if we can alter the nutrition management and if we can so we can find the more nutritional and more cost-effective methods to grow plants, and through which we can use the food as a medicine. So we can see the effect of nutrition management on those two things ratio. At the very beginning, I would like to express my sincere thanks to my guide, Dr. Shri, my research supervisor for his support and thoughtful guidance, and I am deeply grateful to the Department of Education Development of Gujarat, Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat for the financial support and the show. Next, please. Thank you.
What's the nutrition importance of phenols?
Phenols are secondary metabolites which are useful for the plant. If we consider in human health, it is also useful for the some.
Now, in the graphics of soul, there is more reducing sugar as compared to reducing sugar.
Yes.
What type of reducing sugar you are found in the bottom diagram?
ના સર એવું અતિ સ્પેસિફિક નથી એ ફરી ઇવન એન્ઝાઇમમાં અને શુગરમાં એમાંથી
How important is it?
હા સર અને સર મારે ફિનોલ કન્ટેન્ટમાં એવું છે કે ફિનોલ કન્ટેન્ટ જનરલી આપણે જો ફ્રૂટ ફ્લેશ જ લઈએ ને તો એટલું જનરલી ફ્રૂટમાં નથી હોતું, પણ મેં આખું ફ્રૂટ લીધેલું છે એટલે આખું એનો જે છાલનો ભાગ છે એ છાલના ભાગ સહિત જો હું લઉં ને તો ફિનોલ કન્ટેન્ટ ફ્રૂટમાં પણ વધારે છે.
But for the benefit of audience, you define what you mean by zinc efficiency.
Zinc efficiency is the efficiency of specific zinc organs to attract photosynthesis. So during the full fructification, if there is a large amount of fruits, the more વધુ જે ફ્રૂટ હશે એમ એટલા હેલ્ધી ફ્રૂટ્સ આપણને નહીં મળે. એટલે જ્યારે zinc efficiency તમારે વધારવી હોય તો ઘણા મેં એવા મેનિપ્યુલેશન વાળા પેપર્સ પણ જોયા છે, મેં રિવ્યુમાં લીધા છે. એ લોકો મેનિપ્યુલેશન માટે છે એ ઝાઝા ફ્રૂટ જ્યારે ફ્લાવર છે એ ફ્લાવરને તોડી નાખે અથવા તો ફ્રૂટને યંગ સ્ટેજમાં લઈ લે તો ઓછા ફ્રૂટ હશે તો એની zinc efficiency અને ફોટોસિન્થેસિસ એટ્રેક્ટ કરવાની એફિશિયન્સી વધી જશે.
You had a long period of work I was first study.
For that, as economic goes to the person,
Yes, sir.
the verdict,
Yes,
the
sir.
remove it, and there is a loss.
Loss.
Economic loss is there.
ઇકોનોમિક પણ સર વધુ પ્લાન્ટ અને પ્લસ એમાં મેં એ મેનિપ્યુલેશનમાં એવું પણ છે કે લીફ ઉપર અમુક જે એન્ઝાઇમ છે જેનાલિક એસિડ કહેવાય છે એના જે પોલિયર સ્પ્રે છે તો એને લીધે પણ તમે ઇમ્પ્રૂવ કરી શકો છો. એટલે મારો બેઝિક આઈડિયા અને એમાં એવું હતું કે મેનિપ્યુલેશન સોર્સિંગ વાળા મેનિપ્યુલેશન વાળા ઘણા સ્ટડી થયેલા છે. પ્લસ એવા પણ છે કે જેનેટિક લેવલ પર પણ મેનિપ્યુલેશન થઈને
dry, something like that?
સર એ મને ઈચ્છા હતી કે કાર્બન
studies. Yes.
અને ક્લોરોફિલ કન્ટેન્ટ પણ એ માટે એટલે આમાં મારે 5 પીસીસ હતી એટલે પછી મેં એવું બધું કરું ફર્ધર મને એક એન્ઝાઇમ એક રિડ્યુસિંગ શુગર અને ગ્લુકોઝ
એટલે એને કોરિલેટ કરશો ને તો બહુ સારા પેપર પડશે.
ના સર
લાઈક આ પેલું આવે છે ને CSMCR કે તમે આટલું ઓલરેડી આટલું બધું કરી દીધું છે.
You can get a big project.
Good evening everyone, myself Shikshan and I conducted this research work under the guidance of Professor Dr. Shah. So today I am presenting my work on the coastal flora as a nature-based solution for achieving sustainable development goals as an integrated scientific approach. So as we all are aware that coastal ecosystem itself is a very fragile ecosystem. So whatever the coastal flora or coastal fauna are surviving in coastal environment and naturally facing so many challenges as they are dealing with so many abiotic stressors. But still, a group of saline plants can manage to successfully thrive and flourish under such saline environments. And these plants are categorized as a group considering halophytes, mangroves and seaweeds. From their different habitat, seaweeds are merged under saline water, mangroves are surviving under intertidal zone and halophytes are surviving in saline zone. So they are playing a very crucial role in order to regulate climatic changes, salinity stress mitigation and coastal protection. So altogether, these plants are potential resources to serve as a nature-based solution. And in order to identify how they can cost-effectively work as a nature-based solution and a sustainable part, metabolomics and their osmoprotectants needs to be studied that can be potentially linked to sustainable development goals. So considering these aspects, 3 objectives were shortlisted. First was to scientifically assess the selected coastal flora using basic and applied scientific mechanism. Second was to evaluate the metabolomic profile and diversity of osmoprotectant among the group of coastal planting. To link this study in order to identify this plant's functionality relevant to sustainable development goals. So to fulfill these objectives, this methodology was conducted firstly from the different coastal region, considering industrial region, semi-industrialized or developing region and compared to less disturbed region, different sites were selected and from those different representative of different groups of coastal flora were considered based on their abundance. Whichever the plants were majorly showing their abundance and frequency in the saline environment, they were shortlisted considering from mangroves, halophytes and seaweeds, following the different parts, root, stem and leaves and seasonal variations. Following this, different analysis were conducted. First, physicochemical analysis considering AC, pH, the percentage ash content and mineral analysis showing different ions, calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium and chloride were done. And following GCMS and FPIR XID analysis, GCMS was used to see the altogether metabolite profiling in the group of saline plants. Then FTIR was used to identify the presence of functional groups and amorphous structure present in sample of saline plants, and XRD was used to study crystalline structural analysis and their crystallinity property among this coastal flora. So based on this analysis, firstly, 3 groups and the representative plant members were selected, and then their different seasonal variation and their different parts were considered, and by narrow downing them, a unique their physiological abiotic stress mechanism, how as a group that those plants are surviving as a group, like group halophyte, showing 2 different mechanisms, succulents and non-succulents, and third, as a civil, how they are surviving was identified. So firstly, from GCMS analysis, a range of metabolites were identified and that were categorized into different classes, showing the different plant parts, so compound category, and after seeing their differential accumulation in plant parts, that was narrowed down to different categorization of metabolites among group of saline plants. From this metabolite analysis, majority part was fatty acid and esters were prominently present among all 4 group of plants. Then, after following that, internal standard method was performed. It was basically a known standard which would be present in saline plants based on review of literature were identified and was compared to a random metabolite profile. And from that, dry weight of osmoprotectant was obtained. And that too was considered, that too was showed differential significance level and distinct group among dominance among the distinct group. So beta and gamma aminobutyric acid showed higher accumulation in mangrove group. Mannitol showed higher accumulation in seaweed as they need more group of polyols or sugar alcohol in order to survive under seawater. Myoinositol found to be highest in halophyte, glucose found to be higher in mangrove, naturally as they have higher biomass, they need higher glucose, and proline accumulation found to be higher in mangrove. Afterwards, FDR and XRD analysis confirmed the presence of phenolics, carbohydrates, and stress-related functional groups. So, as we can observe in this 3 graph, as a mangrove, halophyte, and seaweed, we can observe 3 distinct peaks. First peak is showing carbonyl functional group. Second peak is showing amide functional group, which is showing the expressional proteins and compatible sources, basically also protected. And the final one is showing the carbonyl. So first is hydroxyl and last one is carbonyl functional group. After that, these groups highlighted the potential use of coastal flora in pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, and environmental biotechnology highest nature-based solution in order to achieve sustainable development goals. This integrated scientific analysis very well validates their ecological importance, their climate resilience potential, and their societal and economic value, strengthening coastal plants research supporting a sustainable development future. From this study, we can simply correlate directly three sustainable development goals, which is climate action, life below water, and life on land, showing their potential in implementing coastal flora, and they also indirectly contribute to sustainable development goal 1, which is to promote livelihood to coastal communities, and sustainable development goal 2, which is providing sustainable bio-resource utilization. So from all this study, this coastal flora can potentially reach a science with a society and humankind that can very well promote the sustainable goal and resilient future. Thank you. These are some of the publications which has generated from my study, showing compatible solutes about extracts mechanism and food security. And I am deeply thankful to Department of Life Sciences, Patel University, for providing the research platform. My research guide, Dr. Shri, for his unconditional support, and this organizing committee for providing the platform to present my research.
You have done very nice and extensive work. So Suhas sir is one of my seniors and we are from same college. So I am very excited to see work of Suhas sir. But I have queries that in elephant fronts you are talking about Olympics and Pracharak. So what is the status of Pracharak?
Initially I selected Pracharak. The only limitation I found was it was only I could only collect in winter season. I wasn't finding in abundant amount.
Okay, so what is your study area actually?
It's Bhavnagar and whatever species.
You are also talking about Sikka.
Yes, exactly.
In Sikka.
That's what I'm saying. Basically, it's a Bhavnagar region. Actually, my work is not a site specific. My main focus was on to study a group-based area. So I was focusing on the plants which were showing in higher amount. So naturally, they are showing higher resilience as they are showing higher abundance. So I took Pracharak. I studied that as well, but it didn't show me significant promising results in order to study environmental stress mechanism compared to this class.
Because what I don't know, there are different studies, there are different results. In my experience, when I was studying Pracharak, Europus, Sueda, all these things, tamarix in Kutch, in Jamnagar, Pracharak, you will find it in abundant properties. So you can easily stress studies in Pracharak. As per my opinion, Pracharak is also one of the resilient flowers. If you talk about coastal flora. But I am very surprised not to find it here.
No, it is in my thesis.
Yes.
And due to urbanization and constant development, I used to found it on Bhavnagar-Ahmedabad highway. But then the bridge developed and I couldn't see the next. So it got really hard for seasonal variation for 3 years in case of Pracharak.
In case of Pracharak, you will find it in summer also, and in winter also you will find Pracharak. It is very dramatic kind of species.
As we all know, grasses belong to the family Poaceae, and they are the most vital part in our life as cattle fodder, food and medicines. They show high adaptability with respect to changing environment, and they have the major influences on the climate cycling of the carbon and water into the soil and the atmosphere. Next. Physiological analysis were calculated using soil parameters such as EC, TDS and pH also calculated, and chlorine content, which is known to be a drought or stress
condition. Chlorix barbata also recorded the lowest value, lowest SL value of 0.87 and indicates the adaptation for light capture and rapid growth in favorable conditions. Here are the soil properties, electrophysicochemical properties of soil of Ahmedabad district. Here are the macronutrients. Next. And here are the micronutrients. Next. Chlorine value also measured, and chlorix barbata having the highest chlorine value of 147 in site C, and cyanodactylon having the highest value of 108 in site B in Ahmedabad district. Next. Here is the linear correlation between sets of quantitative parameters of cyanodactylon and chlorix barbata in Ahmedabad district. In cyanodactylon, strong positive correlation is observed between the fresh weight and tertiary weight and dry weight. No significant correlations are observed between the relative water content and fresh weight, tertiary weight and dry weight, which suggests that the relative water content operates independently of the absolute weight, likely reflecting water retention efficiency rather than the total water content. With chlorix barbata, strong positive correlations were observed among the fresh weight, tertiary weight and dry weight. Weak correlation was seen between the relative water content and fresh weight and relative water content and dry weight, while no significant correlations is observed with tertiary weight. This suggests that the relative water content is influenced to a limited extent by plant weight parameters and reflects specific physiological response to water availability and rather than the absolute balance. So these are the results of leaf anatomy. So both the species share the common features as V-shaped leaf blades, thick cuticle, bulliform cells, closed collateral vascular bundles, well-developed scleroderma. And the differences in the species that the cyanodactylon has the presence of parenchyma and chlorix barbata has the stronger sclerofibrous reinforcement. Next. So here in slide we can see the leaf blade shape, upper epidermis, lower epidermis, parenchymatous sheath, parenchyma as the number 4 in the second slide, and here is the cross section of chlorix barbata leaf. Next. In stem anatomy, circular stem outline in both species, single layered epidermis with thick cuticle, well-developed sclerenchyma cylinders, numerous closed collateral vascular bundles, and large intercellular spaces in ground tissues. That feature supports efficient transport, mechanical strength, and it has a sclerenchyma cylinders and broad collar. Next. So here is the cross section of cyanodactylon stem and the cross section of chlorix barbata stem. Next. Anatomical traits reflects the xerophytic adaptation, thick cuticle and bulliform cells reduce the water loss. Sclerenchyma provides mechanical support and grazing resistance. Parenchyma in cyanodactylon suggests adaptation to variable moisture, and these results align with the earlier studies on OSD adaptability. Next.
bulliform cells and sclerenchyma, enhance water use efficiency and mechanical strength, and species-specific strategies that are erenchyma in cyanidodactylon and strong sclerenchyma in Chloris barbata that explain their ecological success and resilience. Next. These are my achievements. Next. Java. Next. This is the paper that is published in the NR editors. Next. These are the references. Next. Thank you.
For the definition of body sugars, please explain what is this IVL value, SLA value?
Sir, SLA value is a specific leaf area. As we have a low SLA value we can find from the leaf area by dividing with the dry weight of leaves. So, if we have a low SLA value, it means the plant leaves are adapted to the stress environment or the drought environment. We say that it has a thick leaf.
And why we should study the proline accumulation?
Okay, so proline is known to be drought, or we can say the stress indicator. As a plant goes through any stress or drought, it produces a ROS, which is said to be a reactive oxygen species. So to neutralize the ROS, plant accumulates the proline, which scavenges the ROS. It also acts as a osmolyte, or also it has a similar mechanism with the antioxidants. So when it goes through a drought or any stress, proline is accumulated in more extent in plants.
The section where stand with which?
Saffron and fasting. Yes.
Which is a particular study? Surrounding animals.
Yes. As it is urban, and we can find the urban area also and the rural area also. So in urban, we might say that water availability is also low, so we can find that if it is a drought tolerant or not.
But now near Ahmedabad, there are wetlands area where the grasses is growing.
Yes.
From which location you come?
Chambudar, Baraj, outside.
So these are the actually rural area. Yes.
In the composition mentioned you have xerophytes. Have you tried the xerophytes in that area?
No.
So you know the difference between xerophytes and xerophytes?
Yes, sir. In xerophytes, you will find as we found in grasses, there are the bulliform cells and also the erenchymatous cells. So it is a xerophytic. We can make the similarity between the xerophytic and the grass iron.
Anyone in there?
So thank you all of you for your active and very kind listening. We enjoyed the session of life sciences, which was full of studies, full of experiments and full of results. So I am thankful to both our esteemed guests and our jury members, Dr. B.L. Gunjani sir and Dr. H.A. Modi sir, who through his experience, both of them guided us very nicely. And on behalf of Sheth Arts and Science College, Godhra, I am thankful to both of you, sir. So have you. Big round of applause for jury members. Of course, our team, sir, Dr. Sarju Prajapati and Ankita madam are also there. Dasna and Nukur also managed the things nicely. Real also did good job. So I am thankful to all of you. So on behalf of our college, I request Ankita madam to give token of love to Dr. Gunjani sir for having here with us to guide the student and to judge the students, along with the one appreciation certificate. Jordar ताड़ी. Thank you so much, sir. And now I would like to request Sarju sir to come forward and give token of love to our ex-principal, actually, Dr. Modi sir, and he also gave his services as the head of department Life Sciences Gujarat University. He is enjoying both our judges are enjoying retirement life now, but they are still serving the society. So thank you both of you, and I would like to hear some quick words from both of you because young generation is there. So it would be great to hear both of you. First, I would request Modi sir. Sir, please.
લગભગ અહીંયા 30 વર્ષ નોકરી કર્યા પછી આ સિક્યુરિટી ગુજરાત યુનિવર્સિટી એઝ એ પ્રોફેસર ઇન લાઈફ સાયન્સ અને આ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ સાથે એટલી બધી લાગણીવાળો સંબંધો છે. મારા વાઇફ બી અહીંયા જ કામ કરે ડિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ ગવર્મેન્ટમાં અને છેલ્લે રિટાયર્ડ થયેલા છે. એટલે સંજોગો વસાત ગોધરા મારા પેરેન્ટ્સને કાંઈ છોડવું પડ્યું, પણ મેં ઘર હજી અહીંયા બી રાખેલું છે અને અહીંયા જ એ છું. રૂપેશભાઈનો જે કદાચ ફોન હતો ત્યાં છે, પણ તે મારી હૈદરાબાદની ટિકિટ થઈ ગઈ મેં ના પાડેલી, પણ અહીં આવવાનું લખ્યું જ હશે અને તમારા બધાને સાંભળવાની મને કુદરતી ઈચ્છા હશે. પેલું ઇન્ડિગોનો પ્રોબ્લેમ થયો ટિકિટ કેન્સલ અને એ છે એ થઈ છે. બહુ સરસ રીતે તમારું પ્રેઝન્ટેશન હતું અને હું ભલે મારું બેકગ્રાઉન્ડ માઇક્રોબાયોલોજી છે, માઇક્રોબાયોલોજીનો ગાઈડ હતો, તો મારું બધું મોસ્ટ ઓફ એટલે એમફિલના બધા સ્ટુડન્ટ સ્ટડી મેડિસિન પ્લાન્ટ્સને માઇક્રોબાયલ એન્ઝાઇમોલોજી આ બધું એ છે. બહુ સરસ બધી ઓપોર્ચ્યુનિટી છે. હું GSBTM સાથે બી સંકળાયેલો છું, ઘુસખોર સાથે બી સંકળાયેલો હતો અને બધા ઘણા બધા પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ મેં પાસ કરીને એ કરેલું છે. એટલે આજના બી પ્રેઝન્ટેશનમાં મારો પૂછવાનો હેતુ એ હતો કે તમને ફ્યુચર બધી પ્રોફાઇલ મળે, કે આઉટપુટ્સ મળે અને હજી યંગ તો આગળ પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ એટલા અવેલેબલ છે, વેઇટિંગ છે, ફંડ્સ વપરાતું નથી. મારો અનુભવ એ છે કે આટલા વર્ષોમાં 100% ફંડ્સ જે એમના ગ્રાન્ટમાં આપવાનું એ વપરાતું નથી. અને તમે કંઈક પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ બનાવશો તો યુ વિલ ગેટ ધ ગુડ એમાઉન્ટ. અને હવે તો જાતની ફેલોશિપ બધી એ થયેલી છે. તો આ કોલેજે અને અમને આજે તક આપી. કુંજાની સાહેબ મારા જૂના મિત્ર છે અને એ બી ખાસ આના માટે ગાંધીનગરથી આવ્યા અને એક આપણે સાથેનો પરિવાર ઇન્ટરેક્શન વાળો ચાન્સ મળ્યો. તો હું ખાસ ભૂપેશભાઈ પ્રિન્સિપલ એમ્બી સાહેબનો, શિક્ષક પ્રજા મંડળનો અને આજે ફંડિંગ એજન્સી ગુજકોસનો આભાર માનું છું અને ઓલ ધ બેસ્ટ ફોર ઇટ. અને તમને કોઈ બી તકલીફ ટેકનિકલી સબ્જેક્ટ વાઇઝ કંઈ બી હોય તો હું અવેલેબલ હોઉં છું. મારો ફોન નંબર સાહેબ પાસે છે, તમે સબ્જેક્ટ વિષય પર કંઈ પૂછી શકો છો, બરાબર છે. હું હૈદરાબાદ છું બી તમને હું જવાબ આપીશ.
First of all, I am highly thankful to Dr. Nagar because he has invited me and principal of this college organizing committee. So I am highly thankful again. મિત્રો આજે જે મેં ભલે 5 વિદ્યાર્થીઓએ જ પ્રેઝન્ટેશન કર્યું છે, બટ આઈ એમ હાઈલી ઇમ્પ્રેસ્ડ બીકોઝ ધીસ યંગ જનરેશન ઇઝ ડુઈંગ વેલ and systematically using lots of instrument also. So it is brighter future for the life science, I think. Achha, so far as the role we are acting here, the responsibility which is given to us, એની અંદર તમને ખાસ કહ્યું કે વોટ વી હેવ ઓબ્ઝર્વ, મેં મારા રીતે જે જોયું છે એમાં મને કોઈ ઊંચું નથી લાગ્યું, કોઈ નીચું નથી લાગ્યું. એટલે હવે અમે બીના બેસીએ પછી એક નંબર આપવાનો છે. એટલે ડોન્ટ ફીલ બેડ કે ભાઈ અમારો નંબર ના આવ્યો અથવા અમારો નંબર આવ્યો. જે કાંઈ છે એ અમે આપીશું એક્સેપ્ટ રિવ્યૂ રિવ્યૂ છે એટલે એમનું તો રિવ્યૂ કર્યું છે એટલે એમનો તો પ્રશ્ન જ નથી રહેતો. બાકીના જે ચાર બહેનો જ છે બધા, તો they have done excellent really, and I am highly impressed again. So all the best for your future, and do with all what are you doing with your mentor or the guide. Again, keep you always doing something in the giving contribution to the botany. Okay, so thank you. Ada